Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to this review of the Necromunda Underhive Wars game. So this game has been out long enough that I think some of its patches should have gone through by now, so I am doing my proper review of this game. First off, let's talk about the pros. Let's talk about the pros before we get to the cons. The story mode. The story mode is absolutely fantastic. This story is actually, it gets you involved in all of the gang activity. It gets you acquainted with every character, and you begin to actually feel for quite a few of the characters. My favorite being Tessera, who I think is a hot-headed, a hot-headed person who doesn't think things through thoroughly, like myself, who is rash and quick to action, like myself, and who often doesn't care about the consequences of her actions. Beginning to see a theme here. But anyway, next up you have the Orlok gang. I cannot for the life of me remember the leader's name. I do apologize, but the main character that I want to talk about is Tessera. Like, everything about her I absolutely love. The aesthetic, the look, the design. You can tell that the developmental team did a lot to put a lot into these characters, and they gave us a story that actually felt compelling as well as, well, real, as weird as that is. You really got to feel the gang dynamics down in the Underhive. You got to see how they live, how they eat, how they breathe, how they actually, and I know breathe sounds weird, but it has been a question of mine. Where does the recycled air come from? Where does their power come from? Where does the water come from? All of these questions are actually answered in this game. And a lot of the stuff and a lot of the dialogue between the characters made the Underhive seem realistic, unlike the books where they portray them as, well, horrid landscapes of blasted and old buildings. And it's just like, yeah, but how does that function? This game took those concepts and pushed them further and made it feel real. Let's get on to the next thing, is the dynamics of the characters and how well they worked with each other. You got the muscle heads, the beach bros of the Orlok, not the Orlok, the, oh my god, I cannot remember the name of the third gang. The Goliaths, thank you brain, who are failed space marines who then cloned themselves to make more of themselves, then bred with a few others to make other ones, and their lore is all over the place. Needless to say, they're gigantic. And like their gigantic nature, they tend to be a bit stupid. But this didn't stop them from being portrayed as brutally cunning. Some orcs out there probably love these guys. They weren't stupid, is what I'm getting at. They were muscle heads. They weren't arrogant because of their size and strength. But they weren't stupid. And that I really liked. Then you got the Orloks, who felt like they were the ones that tried to understand everything. They knew that they weren't the strongest nor the fastest, so they played the role of the negotiator for the most part, and it felt natural for them. Then you had the hotheads, the quick little Amazons of the, why am I drawing a blank at their names? I do apologize about drawing blanks at names. I'm bad with names. But the, wow, I am really drawing a blank at their name. Because I keep wanting to call him Tessera. But that's the girl. Orloks, the Goliaths, I'm drawing a blank. I am so sorry. Let me just go here and I can tell you what it is. It's not the Orloks. It's the Goliaths. It's the... I keep wanting to say Daughters of Cain, but I know that that's incorrect. It's a pain in the butt is what it is. Wow, I'm really drawing a blank here. I can't believe I forgot the name of the Ashers. Holy cow. Anyway, you have those three gangs in the gangs in the game, and that's where the story mode is driven. The designs of the characters are fantastic. You can actually see muscle movement behind skin, and that is something I love. I absolutely adore that type of aesthetic. And it's that little attention to detail that I truly love in a game. They show you things like their chronos. They show you things like their bags and their other sidearms, their weapons, their war gear. They show you things that don't normally appear in 40K games. And it's really interesting to see all of this stuff. Like, you get to walk into their base and see their beds just scattered about. It looks like something out of Fallout, and it's absolutely fantastic. The way they capture the atmosphere is perfect. Then we have the other good parts of this game, which is its multiplayer. This game has a ton of multiplayer options. You can build various types of gangs, 3 types. So there's a lot more room for improvement and expansion, as I think there's like 12 different gangs in Necromunda. So they can easily include all of these gangs, as well as the monsters that are featured in the artwork in the game, but you don't actually get to see them, which is a shame. But that being said, there are tons of things that they could add to this game, and things that they are hinting at that are in the story mode, like the Goliath rock truck appearing and a Genestealer cultist appearing to those with sharp eyes. But that all being said, we go into the online gameplay, which has one of the biggest flaws of this game. You can just get rid of, and you can go up against another human player, and it is fantastic. But there are some... Nope, we're still not getting to the cons yet. Good things about the multiplayer is you can customize your characters the way you want with limited options, but you can make your characters look the way that you want them to. For instance, I have my Queen's gang here, my Queen's crew, and you can see that I decided to go with Eschers because I absolutely love these girls, and decided to go with a purple look because color of royalty after all. But a thing that I wanted to show on the back is this shortwave Voxcaster, as well as their grenades, which they never needed to add to the game. It's just an amazing little addition. Their bigger knives, and even the cloth itself has jiggle physics, which I love in a video game. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love it. Also, butt, and I do love butts. These girls are not overly sexualized, which is another thing that I really like about this game. As weird as it is to say, these girls don't actually look sexualized. They have what would be considered by common people, and not people with taste like myself, because I would wear this outfit normally, but some people might consider this outfit a bit more revealing or a bit risque. I personally wouldn't, but to each their own. I have a very punk rock aesthetic, so I love the aesthetics in this game. In fact, I do intend to cosplay as a character from the Escher gang, because why would I not? They look amazing. And imagine my length of hair in a mohawk like hers. Like, yes please, let me do that. But there is very limited things that you can do with your characters. There's very limited careers. There's very limited... well, there's limitations to its online play that are becoming more and more apparent. So we have to get to the unfortunate negatives of the game. I hate talking about negatives of games. That's not true. I love talking about them. The AI in this game is absolutely trash. Like, to the point of being some of the worst AI I've seen in a recent game in the last 5 years. It is awful. The pathing is awful. Your opponent has way too much of an advantage in certain situations, but they're dumb as a rock. There are glitches in this game that are really, 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 really apparent, and it's so, so bad. Like the fact that if you're standing up on a ledge and your opponent charges you, the AI cannot figure out how to charge, and thus will run up to you, turn around, walk away, but stop moving, continue the walking animation, and the game will just glitch out right there. There's also several other balancing problems with this game. The online community has noticed this as well, where you can just verse AI until you get to a maxed level, picking only heavy classes or one of any class, maxing out their perks, and just blitzing through everybody. The game massively needs a balance patch and needs to reset all of its online play when it does so. It is a shame. This game, for everything it's got going for it, it actually has a lot less when it comes to negatives. Now, my overall score of this game, and you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I give this game a 7 out of 10, even with all of its bugs currently. This game was truly enjoyable. Like, I loved playing this game. You can see my playthrough of the game, you can see my first impression, which was not that great, but the story kept me going. The story is what kept me into this game. The graphics are what kept me into this game. Not the poor AI, not some error that it had, but just the sheer story and the atmosphere of this game kept me right in, and it's easily one of, if not the best 40k game. And I am putting this in the top 5 40k games of all time. The top 5 being, and in no particular order, Space Marine, Dawn of War 2, Battlefleet Gothic, and then Necromunda. And to be honest, I would say Necromunda has the second place spot next to Dawn of War, where the third would be Space Marine. And I have my gripes with Space Marine. It's mostly because it's an action shooter, and that's not really my genre of game, but that's my personal list. Your list may differ. And that is perfectly awesome, and I want to see your list in the comment section down below. That being said, I want to know what you guys thought of this game. Did you enjoy it? Is my rating a bit off? Do you think that this game is worse, or do you think that this game is better than what I've said? Please, I want to hear all of your thoughts. Tell me in the comment section down below. Also, while you're down there, check out all the links in the description down below. There you can follow me on all sorts of social media. You can even support me on Patreon. Patreon goes a long way to help supporting the channel. And to be honest, I'm kind of living off of it since I'm only working 2 days a week because of COVID. Anyway, guys, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.